Good morning, America. This morning, a presidential partnership. The 5 living former presidents making a rare joint appearance to help hurricane victims at a concert, bringing a message of unity to America.
The heart of America, without regard to race or religion or political party, is greater than our problems.
President Trump with his own statement during the concert and what he tweeted about his predecessor's accomplishments.
JFK documents declassified.
President Kennedy has been shot in Dallas, Texas.
The president also announcing he'll allow the world to see thousands of secret documents about President Kennedy's assassination. What's in them and when will they be released?
This will definitely stir up nationwide controversy.
Breaking overnight, look at this. Terrifying twisters on a path of destruction. Homes ripped apart, water pouring through a casino ceiling. A major heat wave looming out west. Meanwhile, the new wildfire threat in California this morning. Rob is tracking it all.
And celebrations in Houston.
The Houston Astros win the pennant.
The Astros are headed to the World Series, shutting out the New York Yankees 4-0 in Game 7 of the American League Championship. Next stop, LA, and Game 1 of the series against the Dodgers.
Live from ABC News in New York, this is Good Morning America.
As we show that video, I'm legitimately worried about Ron and Rob's mental health.
Kleenex
you guys
is
live
ready.
The long faces on this side of the table. You guys all right?
Ron's not even speaking to anybody. He's so mad.
We're just tired.
You're
Two
just
long,
tired.
scoreless nights.
All right.
I'll speak to you.
Okay, good.
Good morning, everybody. I'm sorry, Ron. Paul is off this morning. Very happy, though, to have Ace White House reporter Cecilia Vega with us on set this morning. Good
Really
morning.
good to be here, guys.
Hi.
Condolences to all my friends out there. Sorry.
A lot of news
Your
out of
friends
Trump
in Houston,
world.
too, I
Yes.
assume.
Yes, a lot of news out of Trump world this morning, but we want to start with the big sports story breaking overnight. The Houston Astros popping champagne in the locker room late last night after beating the Yankees and securing a spot in the 2017 World Series. It was a sad sight, no doubt, for Rob and Ron, our resident Yankees fans, but hard to deny that this is an emotional victory for a city that has had a rough ride this year with Hurricane Harvey.
It really has. The Houston Astros will now face off against the LA Dodgers in the World Series, which starts on Tuesday. And we are lucky enough to have ESPN's Tony Reale right here covering it all. Are you exhausted too, Tony?
I'm never exhausted. Yeah. Good morning, guys. Houston, you have something to celebrate. And how great is it to say that? One of the best teams in baseball all season long. But when their back was against the wall and they were staring down baseball royalty, the Astros showed their mettle.
The Houston Astros win the pennant.
Houston, we have a pennant. The Astros advancing to the World Series for only the second time in their 56-year history, taking Game 7 at home against the New York Yankees to clinch the American League Championship. Things started off promising for the Yankees on the defensive end with this impressive leaping catch by Aaron Judge that robbed Yuli Gurriel of a homer early on.
Now, this is one of the greatest catches you're going to see in Game 7, and there's been a few of them.
Starting things off for the Astros in the fourth inning was Evan Gattis, who knocked one out of the park after a tough at-bat against Yankee veteran CC Sabathia.
1-0 Houston in the fourth.
Astros' Alex Bregman showing off his defensive prowess in the scoreless fifth, throwing out Greg Bird at home off of an infield ground ball.
What a play by Bregman.
But it was Jose Altuve who hit a monster shot in the fifth that got things rolling for the Astros.
Goodbye, 2-0. Altuve.
Setting the stage for Brian McCann, who delivers for the Astros with a base-clearing double to put them up 4-0.
4-0 Houston.
A one-sided show for the fans of Houston last night as their boys move on to the big dance in search of their first Major League Championship.
We have that patch on our jersey that says Houston Strong, and you know, this is for y'all.
But not before stopping to pop those bottles of champagne and celebrate the W.
And there are those ski masks. That's the preferred line of defense from champagne in the eyes, as Rob knows. Dan, you go with the scuba set when you're in the or beekeeper's
that's
outfit.
why they broke
Viking hat. Yeah.
Astros going to the World Series, and we see Ron, we see Rob. Long night for those guys, those Yankee fans. It's going to be all right. You've got a lot of World Series to lean back on over time.
But, I mean,
that's not consolation.
Sorry,
that's not
it should be.
It's all about now. It's
This
all about
Yankees
now,
team
Tony.
has a lot of promise going forward. They're very young and they're very full of potential. The Astros, though, were the worst team in baseball 5 years ago, and now They have a chance to win it all.
Wow.
And so great for that city, no question.
It really is.
Sure.
They've donated a lot of money and their time. Some of their players, their ace Justin Verlander, who's only been on the team for a month, is giving up his entire postseason salary.
Wow.
Always
Colt
great
45s once upon a time. Remember that?
That is correct.
Yep.
Always great to have you with us.
guys.
Thanks,
Thank you
Tony.
very
Good morning.
much. Tony, thank you.
okay?
Let's get to politics now. We're following a series of developing stories
Right.
this morning.
We sure are. There was that intriguing Trump tweet about the impending release of the JFK files, those secret government documents about the Kennedy assassination.
That tweet came on the same day as the funeral for Sergeant LaDavid Johnson, one of 4 soldiers killed in an ISIS ambush in Niger. He leaves behind 2 children and a pregnant wife.
And those images are just heartbreaking to look at. And overnight, a rare and historic tableau. The 5 living former presidents making a joint appearance at a concert for hurricane relief. President Trump appeared via video, but it was what he tweeted during the concert itself that is raising some eyebrows this morning.
Indeed. ABC's Kenneth Moten was at the concert. He starts us off here from College Station, Texas this morning. Kenneth, good morning to you.
Good morning, Dan and Cecilia. Not far from the George H.W. Bush Presidential Library here, 5 ex-presidents in one room. They didn't mention the man who currently has their old job by name, but President Trump still took part in the night in a pre-recorded message and on Twitter.
In this current bitter and partisan political climate, this rare and historic sight of unity. The 5 living former U.S. presidents side by side at the One America Appeal concert to help millions impacted by the catastrophic hurricane season. Presidents Obama, Clinton, Bush 43, Bush 41, and Carter hosting the star-studded relief concert, George H.W. Bush back home in Texas. A rare public appearance for the 93-year-old who had a couple of health scares earlier this year.
And I want to thank President George W. Bush, and most of all, President George H.W. Bush. We are so proud to be with him today.
A fun night for the serious mission. The former president spotted grooving to the beat. Surprise guest, Lady Gaga.
Giving me a million reasons. Give me a million reasons.
Then a long list of music stars also lent their voices. 5 former presidents joined forces after Harvey hit Texas. But after Irma slammed into Florida and Maria devastated the U.S. Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico, the work continues. Former President Bill Clinton made this comment about the current state of politics.
If we just do what we ought to do and prove that the heart of America, without regard to race or religion or political party, is greater than our problems.
President Trump even made an appearance to thank his predecessors.
Together we will recover, we will rebuild, and we will come back stronger and better than ever before.
Trump praised the ex-presidents in that video, but during this unity event, different words from the president who tweeted, perhaps no administration has done more in its first 9 months than this administration. We should mention before this concert, this effort by the former presidents had already raised $31 million for hurricane victims. Dan and Cecilia.
And boy, the looks on those presidents' faces behind Clinton as he was speaking there, Kenneth, thank you.
Remarkable. Yes, absolutely, Kenneth, thank you.
We want to turn now to the other headline out of Washington this morning. The president's announcement delivered via tweet that he will allow the declassification of secret case files about the assassination of President Kennedy.
So much talk this morning about what the thousands of pages may reveal. ABC's David Wright is on that story from the White House. David, good morning to you.
Good morning, Dan and Cecilia. This is a day that conspiracy theorists have been waiting a lifetime for. The final batch of documents related to the JFK assassination, about 3,000 pages in all. The president now says he's inclined to release them, and only he can make that decision. At a moment when his administration is getting raked over the coals over that attack in Niger, embroiled in a debate over how best to console Gold Star families, President Trump tweeted this weekend about JFK and the mother of all conspiracy theories.
President Kennedy has been shot in Dallas, Texas.
November 22nd, 1963. All these years later, how exactly this tragedy came to pass and why, we're not 100% sure. Enter President Trump on Twitter this weekend. Subject to the receipt of further information, I will be allowing, as president, the long blocked and classified JFK files to be open.
The president is releasing the documents, even though the intelligence community would rather he not. The president enjoys stirring up controversy, and this will definitely stir up nationwide controversy.
What we're talking about here is roughly 3,000 pages of secret documents, mostly CIA and FBI case files. Trump's friend and sometime political advisor Roger Stone has his own conspiracy theory why Trump should release the documents.
They're likely to show that Lee Harvey Oswald was trained, nurtured, and put in place by the Central Intelligence Agency.
Raw case files could breathe new life into all sorts of conspiracy theories.
Just because something is labeled as an intelligence report doesn't mean it's true. Therefore, citizens looking at these files could easily be confused and come to the conclusion that President Kennedy was killed by the Russians or the Cubans or the American mafia, because some intelligence report in the files says that, but it may not be true.
All of this was set in motion decades ago. Back in 1992, Congress passed a law that required the National Archives to release all of the Kennedy-related documents by this year. That deadline expires this week, October 26th. So the notion that the President Trump, the 45th president, is controlling the timing of all this, that too may be a conspiracy theory.
And those conspiracy theories not expected to be put to bed after the release of these documents, David. But I want to talk about one other headline out this morning. This one about the Russia investigation, with the president's aides facing mounting legal fees, big fees. The president himself is now offering to foot the bill.
That's right. This is a story that was broken by Axios. The president promising $430,000 of his own money to help defray the legal costs associated with the Russia investigation for campaign associates. Now, $430,000 happens to be the amount that the RNC has already paid for the president's lawyers and Don Jr.'s. So make of that what you will.
A lot of nervous aides in that White House, though, David. Okay, thank you. I want to bring in ABC's Martha Raddatz, who is hosting This Week a little later this morning. Good morning, Martha.
Good morning, guys.
What a week it was in the White House. President Trump ignited that firestorm when he falsely claimed past presidents did not call the families of fallen soldiers. You've been covering this. The White House is hoping that briefing room appearance by Chief of Staff John Kelly puts this to bed. So I want to ask you, do you think this is the end of all of this?
Well, you know the answer to that too, Cecilia, and I don't think it is. I think if John Kelly, who gave such an emotional and powerful answer about those condolence calls to Gold Star families, he, of course, lost his son in Afghanistan. Very moving, very emotional. But then he went on to criticize Congresswoman Wilson, saying he couldn't believe she was listening to that call, saying she'd talked about raising money at a dedication of a memorial in Florida, and that turned out to be wrong. So I don't think this controversy goes away. As you know, Cecilia, very well, John Kelly, General Kelly, is seen as a steadying force in the White House, nonpartisan. This is the most political anyone has seen him thus far.
Let's talk about the situation in North Korea. Meanwhile, you spent the past week on the USS Reagan aircraft carrier, which is in the region. Polls show Americans are really worried about the potential of war. After what you experienced this week, how close do you think we are?
Well, I think everyone should worry about it. I mean, you've all heard the rhetoric going back and forth between Kim Jong-un and President Trump. It truly is a very real war of words. On that aircraft carrier, they were doing exercises this week. The Marine Corps also doing exercises with the F-35. They are prepared for anything. As one pilot said, we're ready to fight tonight. Nobody wants to, but truly no one has any idea what will happen at this point, but they are prepared, and we'll show you all about that.
This is a huge story. We're looking forward to hearing much more from you, Martha. Thank you. As always, Martha has a big show coming up on this Sunday morning. She's going to go one-on-one with the former CIA Director, General David Petraeus. Plus, she has that exclusive look at U.S. military preparations near North Korea from the aircraft carrier there. That's all coming up on This Week later this morning. And we do have one other related programming note. Senator John McCain, who's made a lot of news of late, will be a guest on The View tomorrow. That's at 11 Eastern, right here on ABC. We turn now, though, to Tampa, Florida, where the manhunt is intensifying this morning for a killer who has now shot 3 people in one terrified neighborhood.
Police are now going door to door in their search. ABC's Victor Oquendo has been following this story. Good morning to you, Victor.
Good morning, Cecilia and Dan. That neighborhood is in shock. Police have the entire area blanketed. They don't want the residents to feel like they're being held hostage by whoever is doing this, but they need them to be aware of their surroundings. Police going door to door in a Tampa neighborhood checking on residents as they desperately search for a killer, even looking through yards and trash cans. 3 people murdered in the span of 11 days. The community on edge, the families of the victims in mourning.
Our family never gonna be the same again.
This memorial for 20-year-old Anthony Noboa, the most recent victim, killed last Thursday.
Happy child, loving, everybody loved them. Family-oriented.
Noboa had autism. Police say he got on the wrong bus on his way home from work. He was walking to another bus stop when he was shot.
It wasn't not even 20 minutes when I spoke to him. And he told me, yes, I'll be home. He was not home.
That's not far from where 22-year-old Benjamin Mitchell was killed in front of his home on October 9th. And just a half mile from there on October 13th, Monica Caridad Hoffa was found dead.
Monica did nothing that should have put herself in this situation. She was completely innocent and was targeted by this animal out there.
Right now, the only lead is this grainy video of a person wearing a hoodie walking a neighborhood street. Police not even calling them a suspect, but someone they'd like to speak with.
If you're walking alone, you're either a suspect or you're a potential victim. And that's what they need to remember in this neighborhood.
A motive has not been determined. The 3 victims had no connection, but police believe the killings are linked because of the proximity to each other. Police now encouraging everyone to keep their porch lights on. They're even handing out extra light bulbs. The reward for any information that leads to an arrest has gone up to $25,000. Cecilia, Dan?
Increasing that reward, a horrifying story. Victor, thank you. Let's check the forecast now this morning. A lot going on in the weather department. Rob is tracking both severe weather and a big heat wave. Hey, Rob.
Hi, Dan. This line of storms came through Oklahoma last night, did some damage. There were 50 reports of severe weather, including 3-inch hail, 60-plus mile-an-hour winds, and 5 reported tornadoes. There you see some of the damage through Norman, Oklahoma. One hitting the Riverwind Casino. Beach Boys were having a concert there. Even the governor was there, and there's so much damage that the rain was coming through the casino. A lot of heavy rain heading into Louisiana, actually southeast. There's a video of one of the tornadoes cruising through Oklahoma. Right now, the rain is increasing along this line, less tornadic, but heavy rain down across southeast Louisiana as well. Ahead of this, and we've got a couple of tornadoes warnings out this morning. The heat, as you mentioned, is building across the southwest. The Santa Ana winds are going to be cranking up here in the next several days. So we have excessive heat warnings out, red flag warnings. This high builds in. The winds go offshore. We lower the humidity. We crank up the temperatures, 90s to triple-digit heat over at least 2 or 3 days. That's going to increase the fire risk as well. That's the latest check on the national headlines. Here now is your local forecast.
Plenty of bright sunshine for today. Temperatures topping out in the mid to upper 70s, which is certainly above our average for this time of year. So looking great for outdoor activities if you're heading to the pumpkin patch to pick out your pumpkin. Early half of the week, though, that's when we have some pretty big changes. Increasing cloud cover starting tomorrow. And then by Tuesday, we have heavy rainfall, some gusty winds. As we head into the later half of the week, temperatures going to be falling back into the 60s on Wednesday. And those impacts will likely cause travel delays Tuesday from the rain.
Game 1 of the World Series will be in Los Angeles on Tuesday, where it could be 100 degrees or close to it.
Will you be watching it?
Yeah, of course I'll be watching as a fan. Rooting for Houston. Houston.
Are you really?
Yeah, you know,
Nice.
you can't beat them, join them, Ron. Okay.
I admire the spirit.
He's smiling
Yes.
through the tears. Yes, exactly. Exactly. And Ron's here with more of the day's headlines. What do you got for us?
Hey, good morning to you, Cecilia and Dan, Adrian and Robert. Good morning, everyone. We're going to begin in Spain with an unprecedented move by that country's prime minister to quash the independence movement in the region of Catalonia. Mariano Rajoy announcing that he will remove the region's elected officials and impose direct rule by the national government. Demonstrators taking to the streets of Barcelona, Catalonia's capital, to protest that plan. Catalonia's leaders have threatened to secede from Spain and become an independent country. In West Virginia, a respiratory hazard warning has been issued for residents of Parkersburg and the surrounding towns as huge clouds of smoke and ash billow out of a former tool plant that went up in flames. The structure is now being used, or was being used, to store plastics. It caught fire early Saturday morning. State environmental officials say tests show that the ashes are not toxic. In Cuba, more American embassy workers in Havana have been sickened by suspected sonic attacks. The U.S. State Department saying that 2 more people have been confirmed as victims of what it says